complex behaviors, let's say they are showing aggressive response, it's the first thing I go to is the dog uncomfortable or in some kind of pain? So I am really happy to say that my next guest is Yaz Porritt. She is from Yorkshire Pooches Therapy, and they provide holistic therapies for dogs in Yorkshire and, thank goodness, internationally. She specializes in pain management and species-appropriate nutrition. I want to ask you a lot about that as well. And you're a Mauritia, so you have to tell me how I pronounce this. Mauritia massage therapist and applied herbal choices consultant. So you specialize in natural canine health, and you do some wonderful things. So I'm going to start there and say welcome, Yaz, to the podcast. I'm so glad you're here because I know that we have a lot of people that are concerned.
Mm-hmm. And I think they're right to be concerned. I think I was put on this earth to talk about pain because I'm like a dog with a bone, and it was when I first qualified in massage, I was new and shiny, like, oh, I'm going to make such a difference in the world. And it was the first thing that really struck me was, oh my goodness, there are so many lame dogs everywhere. You can't drive down, through town or anything without seeing a dog that's lame. So then it got me thinking, I was like, do people want to know if their dogs are in pain? And as I've been doing this for years now, and I think that question's a little bit complicated. I think you'd want to know that your dog was in pain, and a lot of people do. So for me, in my job, when people don't want to know that their dog's in pain, it's like they go la 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 and kind of like put the head in the sand. It's unpicking why that behaviour's there, because at the end of the day, as pet guardians, we've got a duty of care to provide a safe and as much as possible a pain-free life to our dogs. And I think with our dogs, when we describe pain, so me and you, if we were talking about pain, I was like, oh, absolute stinking headache. You could have the exact same physical experience, but you could describe it as a migraine. If you go to the doctors and you say, oh, I've got a little bit of tummy ache, what they're going to ask you, okay, when does it happen? Is it certain times of the day that it happens? Is it a sharp pain? Is it a dull pain? Can you see any patterns to it? We use a lot of language when we're expressing our pain, and that's between humans. Our dogs do not have that capability, so it's our job or my job to help translate. I'm a translator of how behaviours and the way that a dog moves can indicate that they're actually painful. Like if you give me any behaviour, I will rattle a case out of the back of my head, then I'll go, yeah, it was this, and we went on to have a diagnosis of XYZ. Pain it's not just a physical experience, it's an emotional experience as well. But I'll pump the brakes there, because otherwise you'll just be sat there waiting for me to take.
No, I love it. I have to say, I had a headache yesterday, quite a bit. I woke up with it, and I get headaches it's quite common. I need to drink more water, but I do, and I think it's also eye stuff as well. But I just felt pretty moody throughout the day. I couldn't shake it. I was working. I had to get on and do things, and it just really made me feel grouchy.
Yeah,
and 100%. It was uncomfortable, and I didn't really want to eat that much. And then finally, when the pain went away, when I continued to take more pain meds, it was a huge relief of like, oh my gosh, I feel normal now, thank goodness. But it really does, and if you think about it, and we can say, hey, I felt bad, or I feel bad, and my head is thumping, or I sometimes, when it gets really bad, I say, I've got a boomer, like it's really booming now, and I just have to lie down, I have to put stuff over my eyes, I take pain meds, and I'm just quiet for about 30 minutes to an hour, if I can, if I'm not working or running around everywhere, and then I start to feel better. But I can voice that, and I can take care of my own self so that I can feel better, but our dogs can't. And I agree with you, Yaz. I have a tough time when I see people walking, or in my case, because I live next to a sort of running track, running with their dogs, and the dogs just look so uncomfortable, and I'm like, oh, please, because our dogs can't tell us.
No, they can't tell us, and I think as well it's interesting about the headache thing. How do we know if our dog's got a headache or has a bit of light sensitivity that day? How do we know if our dog's got pins and needles in the leg? We're the same on a cellular level,